if the curve of the Earth is very, very gradual, so that for all practical purposes, if you're staying within a couple hundred meters or something, I think
You mean like non-existent?
everything will be horizontal close enough. But if we're talking
Wait
about
a minute. Whoa.
purely
Hex, you're
mathematically
doing this again. The curve of
Stop
the Earth.
reaching.
Do you mean like a mountain? Because I've seen some mountains that are really steep, not gradual at all. It's like they go fucking straight up. There's some
No,
like
I'm
like
talking
cliff
about-
faces. Have you ever heard of cliff face?
I'm
They're normally
talking
on
about the
mountains.
globe Earth,
Pardon?
You're talking about curve in water?
amongst other things.
Are you talking about curve in water level? Are you?
Oh, shit.
That's different. That's not
Good luck.
like the Earth, is it?
He knows he's out of mulligans, right?
Hmm.
How can I be? I don't think I've used any. Have I?
Oh, yeah, dude.
You've used them all, believe. You
Well,
are actually...
Contradiction
you are actually-
count is in the maybe double figures by now.
Yeah.
I've never
Well
seen
over par
anybody
on every
use
hole.
any. Hey, just heel kick the ball out the woods a couple times.
Okay. Well, if you use an auto level to make a triangle, and I realize that you got an X with a line at the bottom, but if we ignore the upper parts of the X, then you've got a triangle.
Yeah.
Then that, I'm not sure it would absolutely have to be, but it would be, well, okay, if it's at least if it's a equilateral triangle, then that plane would be horizontal in, I believe that plane would be horizontal in the center of the triangle.
The whole
What?
plane would be horizontal. That's the point. We just proved that to you.
Any point on the triangle. Every point.
It's the triangle that forms the plane, Hex. Do you not understand this?
I think he's getting it.
But that still doesn't mean that
Doesn't mean what? Come on,
the
get it out.
plane is horizontal at all points or no points.
Oh, Jesus.
To get that, you have to presume that
All the points on a
horizontals are
horizontal
parallel.
plane are on the horizontal plane. Yeah, I know. It's really, I mean, like, I must admit, I do assume that. When we talking about a horizontal plane, I assume that every part on that horizontal plane, there exists a horizontal straight line that you can place anywhere on that horizontal plane.
I do as well.
I disagree. But you
Wow.
you might be getting
Fucking hell.
somewhere.
I disagree.
Disagreeing with like 3 or 4 people that use them on a daily basis.
I'm not going to give you shit as proof for disagreeing. I'm just going to move on and start babbling about something else and try not to use any of my non-existing mulligans.
Hex,
Oh,
can I just,
my
Hex, because I haven't really heard it all in and out, but can you tell me, can you see the, between geometry as explained in the last hour or two, the perpendicular relationship with, real life verticals that we can use perpendicles or plumb bobs to create, and we can create horizontals in reality, like the verticals, with a water level. Can you see the relationship between the perpendicular and geometry?
Sort of, yeah, but you can't do a geometric proof showing that all verticals are parallel, for instance, without.
Yeah, but hold on. What happens
They
if
are.
everywhere that I've ever been, I've created a parallel vertical to another? And I've done a lot of that. Do you know what? I've been laying bricks, right, for about, how long has it been? I don't know, what, 25 years?
No.
Yeah, that's why, that I've been using these tools for that long.
Over how large an area would you say you have laid bricks? I mean, if from one house at one extremity of your travels to the other, How far apart would
Oh,
they be?
you know construction sites. You know the answer to that. I mean,
You're telling
I
me
haven't
he's
done any.
still here? Is he
Sorry?
honestly still here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, how far apart are the furthest construction sites that you have worked on?
How far apart?
About 50 miles or
Well, some of them are like, literally up the road, and some of them are further away.
yeah, okay. But have you in any way verified that the bricks at one site are parallel to the ones at another site? The up and down
Oh, yeah.
direction.
Would you ever,
Uh,
would you ever doubt it that if everywhere you went and you like dropped a plumb bob and it did exactly the same thing as it did every other time you've ever done it? Would you not think that they would just all be vertical, parallel to each other?
Why,
can answer
why
his
would one
question.
think that? If I thought the Earth was flat, then obviously
No, you haven't got to think
I would-
anything. Don't forget about the thinking about whether it's some sort of shape or not. Just literally think, like if you were to just everywhere you go, you just get a plumb bob and it just does what it does down.
Let me give him an example. This
Why
is
would you ever
another
think that they
practical-
would? Sorry, go on.
I'll give him a practical demonstration and something he can think about. So, in 2016, my city flooded. And when I say flooded, I got 8 feet of water in 3 of my houses. Everyone in the city flooded, every house. You
Sorry to
can
hear
go along to every house and look at the brick ledges, and it's horizontal lines where the water made a mark on every house, right? Now, these houses are at different elevations, but they're all horizontal to each other. You understand what I'm saying?
what I don't think horizontal to each other.
The water
It
found its
makes
horizontal. Sir.
sense. I presume you mean that the horizontal at each place is parallel to another, but I don't see how you have determined that.
How
Obviously,
could that horizontal be
Horizontal.
parallel
Water did
to
it.
another? That would involve the water being stepped.
Water did it, not me.
each horizontal would be parallel to itself. But
And each other. So
How-
that
And
would
each
mean
other,
water
sir.
stepped.
how would you determine that? Why does it have to be
How,
stepped?
ri-
It could be
how
smoothly
ridiculous
curved.
are you?
My sides are still hurting from the last time. I can't. do it.
But no, seriously.
The thing
if
is
you're
with
capable
Hex,
of that-
when he laughs, I don't know if he's
No.
actually really laughing or if he's fake laughing.
No.
He's that good at fake laughing.
It's a fake laugh.
He can do it on
Not
call.
really.
It's fake.
might be
Yeah, really. You
might
just
be a
did it.
little nervous, but I
It's
think
fake.
I'm sort of oh,
Have you
God.
enjoyed your time here, Hex? Have you enjoyed your afternoon or evening?
No.
You've enjoyed getting
No.
your butt kicked. Well,
Did he say no?
This dude.
I think he said
Oh,
yeah.
If you're not getting paid for this, man, you should be.
you said you were in Scandinavia, didn't you?
No.
Right. Well, I was in Denmark a couple of years ago, right? And I worked on Facebook data center, right?
Oh.
And it's a big capital H shaped building, right?
No.
And the slabs are about, I'd say, 250 meters wide and just under half a mile long.
Yeah.
And they were perfectly dead, flat, smooth slabs. Horizontal.
And you determined this how?
That's the way they were built. That's the way they had to be built.
Otherwise, what happens is some buildings have expansion joints. Can you imagine it? Like you got like a 5 mil joint at the bottom, and you got like a 50 mil at the top. I'm sure it'd be noticeable if it wasn't horizontal.
And there was also the connecting part between the two as well, which was horizontal on the opposite direction in the plane.
Is Hex one of these people that think that you can't create horizontals in reality?
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends on what you mean by a horizontal. You can
Oh, Jesus.
The globe model dictates everything that
determine
Hex
the
does.
direction of horizontal at any
Nonsense.
point, but they
Why
will.
did you just use a horizontal? I thought you didn't think there was a horizontal.
Well, if you said horizontal,
No, you.
that's
You
the way.
said
Yeah,
a.
I'm reacting to the way you are using them.
Well,
He
you don't
said
need to. You don't need to use
horizontals.
my words.
He's
to
learning. He's learning. It's all right.
react.
It's good. It's a learning process. He's being educated by us.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that any flat plane can only be horizontal at a single point.
Well,
However,
these were horizontal all the way along their length and all the way across their width.
to what level of accuracy?
Oh, you wouldn't
Don't say
believe
absolute because
this
I'll
is
just laugh at you.
Facebook we're talking about, and Facebook don't do half measures. Believe me.
So I suppose
Why-
you want to start
why would
talking
they
about
care?
LIGO. Is that where you want to go,
Why-
Hex?
Yeah, does he
I don't
really
mind.
want to talk about accuracy? Do you know? I mean, like we know you don't know anything about geometry or surveying
Yeah.
or
Or
anything like
construction.
that, but you want to talk about accuracy. What sort of accuracy do you think these tools can achieve?
I don't know, but why would Facebook care about a couple of millimeters here or there over, you say, a mile or half a mile?
Any construction cares about a couple of millimeters. Not just Facebook.
I doubt that.
Well,
And,
like you say, you have no practical experience of anything, so your doubt is not my concern.
But supposing they do care, which would they prefer having? Flat or level?
They
Accurate.
got both.
Not to an absolute accuracy. They are.
They
Well,
can-
that's your claim. Why don't you
They
go
will-
to Denmark and prove me wrong?
They will use a horizontal baseline in order to do whatever you want whenever you want to build. Ask Rakia. I mean, he does it all the time.
As I say, the difference.
You can make a slope, you can make a curve, you can do anything, but you have to have a horizontal baseline to base everything you do off.
You can have.
If we want the water to flow off, we make it an elevation change, a slope. If we want the slab to be horizontal or the building to be horizontal, we take a benchmark. If they want it to be a certain elevation above that set benchmark, we create a horizontal plane with no slope. Funny that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every day. I'm pulling up to another job site right now. Same thing.
Do you have any data on what kind of accuracy they consider acceptable?
Do you?
You mean the accuracy where water wouldn't flow off? Yeah. Very accurate. Water tells all. It will tell you every mistake you made, everywhere. If you didn't put enough slope on that driveway, believe me, that water will pool up and cause a bird bath, is what it's called. Same thing in a slab. To the millimeter. That'll be the last part to dry. You know why? Because water seeks and finds its level.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're presuming that level is flat, but
No
presumption.
No, I'm not.
Presuming.
suppose you
Whenever
have.
you hold on, Hex. Whenever you ever seen water that isn't level, once at rest.
Level. Well, I guess water would be level, but that doesn't mean it's flat.
Oh dear.
You are presuming you're.
No presumptions.
No.
You are
It's
talking
you.
to people.
It's you, Hex.
You are
You're
talking to people,
presuming.
and you are talking to people who use levels every day of their lives.
And
over multitude of distances.
How do you determine whether the level is the same at one place as at another? Whether they are
We're going to do
horizontal with
tests.
each other?
We've got tests coming.
This is
You
all
know-
circular.
You know
This
what
is
most
so
people.
circular.
You know what
Want to know
most
the
people.
best way to check it? A
Sorry?
water level. The best way to check your work would be a water level.
Yeah. You know what
water
most people in
level-
here. Go ahead.
Go on, Buster.
I was just gonna say, most people in here, Hex, have actually done this thing themselves with the water level, checking things. I mean, most everybody in here has done it. That's all I got.
Yeah, we didn't just stumble in here after
Yeah.
reading a paragraph online.
Yeah.
Said,
yeah.
"Oh, look at
I'm watching a few YouTube videos.
yeah."
I don't know where in this world one man can go into a room full of whatever, I don't know, a dozen people that have got experience in what they're talking about professionally, and argue with them that they don't know what they're doing or haven't really haven't quite sussed it out.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is the way it appears. I haven't seen anything actually by most of you, but I know that Bev is certainly misunderstanding the so-called hump and drop of globe model, and it seems to be impossible to correct his misunderstanding.
Did
Also-
you go to the whiteboard and did you go through the hump and drop? Have you been through that yet?
I've seen that. Yeah, he
What do you think that Bev doesn't understand about that?
and I forget who was it. That might have been Bev too, but someone was talking about how this lake
Who's
should
Bev
have
too? Who's
a hole
trying to
should
come
be
round?
funnel shaped. Who was it who talked about the
Who's Bev
funnel shaped lake?
He wasn't talking about a funnel-shaped lake. He was talking about your misconception of what should happen and your contradiction.
No, that's your misconception of what would happen in a.
No, you said
And a
that the
globe.
observer from the centre of the lake and an observer from the bank of the lake would both see a drop towards the centre.
What you are
One towards the centre and the other
misunderstanding
towards the...
is that
Sure.
the drop is not between the level of your feet and his feet.
No, you
The drop
stated what they would see.
yes.
They would see They would see the water falling away from them. That would be their experience. Now, the guy in the centre sees the water falling away from him, and a guy on the lake shore sees the water falling away from him.
That is because they are leaning away from each other, so that they see the same curve
That's ridiculous.
as dropping down.
That is ridiculous.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
How can that be if everybody is supposed to be on the top of their ball?
Nobody.
No
is
one
on-
leans over anywhere. They're all on top.
Nobody is on the top. Everybody.
No,
can,
nobody's on the top now.
No, but everybody can think of themselves as being on the top.
Oh,
But
that's
if
Oh,
that is
yeah.
really a
Isn't it? That's nice.
We're all equal. We're all equal.
is-
Nobody higher than anybody round here.
that is
Yeah.
an
I would have said
oversimplification.
someone in the Arctic would be like higher than someone in Australia, surely.
Yeah, they'd have to be, wouldn't they?
Depends,
If they were all on the top, then the
That would-
ones that
that
are
would-
higher would have to be higher than the
That
other
would
people.
That would depend on the quality of their drugs, I think.
Nice
The-
obfuscation.
For someone who really understands the model,
Or
there
up or
is
down
no,
and
there
all that
is
sort
no
of stuff.
top or bottom, unless you want to call the whole surface the top or sea level or
So
whatever.
there'd be no up or
And-
down then? There's no such thing, is there?
And if you wanted, you could call the center of the Earth the bottom, but it really doesn't.
How
make
can the centre be the bottom?
Centre be the bottom. That's almost as stupid as putting the horizon in the middle of the picture with the mountains behind it. That'd be
it
fucking
depends-
retarded.
it
Why do you not
depends-
realise that what you are saying is stupid?
It
Why do you
depends
not realise
on
that,
how-
Hex?
Because it isn't. It depends.
just have
on
to
the
say it.
definition of
I
bottom.
have to say it.
The center of the Earth is the lowest point that one could, in principle, reach. I mean, obviously, it's not possible to